I decided that I wanted to take it to the next level. Like, I made it way more extreme than it needed to be. That was the beginning of the end, to be completely honest, because hello, beautiful, sexy people. It's your girl, Natalie, back with another video. If you're brand new here, I'm documenting my self-love and abundance journey as well as my weight loss journey, which all gets tied together. Basically, I am documenting my rags to riches story. Anyways, this is part 2 of why I gained the weight back. The first video focused on my mindset and where I was at mentally, and this video is going to focus on my diet and what led up to me completely switching things around and going from losing weight to gaining a bunch of weight back fairly quickly, to be honest. So yes, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is kind of a long story. I tried to keep it short, but that didn't work out too well. So go ahead and get you a snack, get you something to drink, relax, sit back, because it gets kind of interesting. It really does. It gets kind of interesting, and I feel like you guys will like it. All right, so let's jump right into it. I'm going to start with a recap of my 2019 to 2020 weight loss journey, just because like you kind of had to know what was going on before everything kind of switched up and I started getting the weight back. Okay, so I started in August 2019. So from August 2019 to January 2020, everything pretty much was going smoothly. I was losing weight just pretty consistently. Weight was coming off every single week and everything was all good. I lost my first 45 pounds in 5 months. I got down to about 220. I started at 265, got down to 220 in January. Anyway, so once I hit 220, which is a weight that I had been there before. I had seen that number on the scale. It hadn't happened a lot, but it was kind of like the lowest I'd ever been. So that's pretty much kind of where I got stuck. So January, I hit 220. February, March, I pretty much stayed in that area around 220, give or take. But I wasn't too concerned about it. Like, I felt good, and I was just kind of like, all right, it's fine. It was expected, I guess. And also I was dating someone, so I wasn't too concerned about my weight because he wasn't. That's neither here nor there. Fast forward to April, and that is officially when my job shut down towards like the very, very end of March going into April. So I was at home, not doing anything towards dieting because my mindset was kind of like, well, I gotta take what I can get when it comes to food, and I can't be too picky because of what's going on right now. So I kind of was like eating whatever. I gave myself license to eat junk, basically. And of course, I really wasn't able to go to the gym, so I wasn't doing anything towards working out except for maybe walking to the liquor store and back. All right. I was not on my best behavior. I admit, okay? Anyway, so I pretty much was home eating junk, watching the first series, the original series of Power from start to beginning. So that was my whole April. Fast forward to May. In May, I kind of like was like, all right, this lockdown situation is not gonna end anytime soon. I need to stop playing games and get my life together. So of course, I weighed myself. I had gained 10 pounds. I'm back up to 230. This is obviously going, like, it makes sense. Like, being that I wasn't doing anything in April, it's not crazy that I gained 10 pounds. My reaction to it, though, was I felt like I desperately needed to get back to 220 as fast as possible. So I don't know what exactly I was searching on YouTube, but I started coming across these videos where people were doing these long-term water fasts for days, sometimes weeks, and just dropping pounds like crazy. So I thought about it for a few days and decided to go on a water fast. And so I did a water fast for 6 days. And in that 6 days, I got down to 219. As soon as I broke my fast, though, it went back up. But the fact that I saw it on the scale was very, very good for my mental. So I got down to 219. It did go back up after I started eating. But after that, I think I still stayed around 220 for a while because I don't recall going past 220. Matter of fact, yes, I remember. I started this channel in August of 2020, and I recall making a video in which I was like, I lost 8 pounds in 8 days. I actually recently just watched that video, And it was a lot because I had gotten down to like 212 out of nowhere. I was like, what just happened? That was fast. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I did not start moving away. My bad. I did not start moving away from 220 until about August. So August, I'm hitting around 215, 212, those types of numbers. Great, wonderful. Here's where we start to get the switch up situation. It started with, and because I had done that water fast, and when I came out of it, I had so much energy that I decided that I was going to continue doing long-term water fast, not as long as 6 days, but like 48 to 72 hours, which was like a good amount of time according to my research. So I was doing like basically weekend fasts, or maybe the weekend and a Monday, not often, probably just like once in June, once in July type of thing. Somewhere around August, I noticed something different about myself, which was and wasn't problematic. My natural, and I'm gonna be a little TMI, I don't really care. I'm gonna give y'all the whole tea. The whole tea and nothing but the tea. All right, so basically the situation was that somewhere around August, September, I realized that my natural odor, my natural scent was different. And it wasn't even different in a bad way. It's just different in a way that I didn't like. Like, like it was different and I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't want to smell like this. I want to smell like me. So I basically started to smell a little bit like sweet. And I don't know if that had to do with all the fasting, COVID, what? Because I did have COVID back in April. I was just asymptomatic. So I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know if it was all the fasting. I don't know if it was the weight loss. I don't know if this is something normal that happens when people lose a good deal of weight. I didn't really find anything in my research that, made sense. I mean, I was seeing a lot of stuff about being diabetic, but I was not diabetic. So that was not it. Somewhere along the lines, I decided that the issue was that, and this is something I just basically made up. I don't know where this idea came from. I don't think I found it in my research. It was just the only thing that I could grasp onto that made sense to me. So I decided that the issue or the situation was that I had an overgrowth of Candida in my gut, and it was seeping out and through my pores, and that was causing the issue. Candida is basically yeast, which can be an overgrowth in your intestines and your gut if you are eating too much sugar, which I don't feel like I was, but like I said, I just got this idea in my head. I was actually being really healthy because I was doing OMAD for, I think ever since I did that water fast, I started doing OMAD, eating 1 meal a day. So I really wasn't doing too bad in the sugar department. So I don't know. Anywho's, I did not actually start the Candida diet until October. I started specifically exactly on October 10th. And here's the thing. The Candida diet really just requires you to have no carbs, no sugar. So you can have healthy fats and you can have protein. I decided that I wanted to take it to the next level. Like, I made it way more extreme than it needed to be. Also, before I continue, I forgot to mention, in my research, it is recommended that if you're going to do the Candida diet, which is no carbs, no sugar, so that you kill off the yeast that's overgrowing in your body, it is recommended that you do this diet for a minimum of 3 to 6 months. That's important to know. We're going to get to that in a minute. So October 10th, I start the Candida diet, and like I said, I take it to the extreme. And the extreme is that originally I wanted to go on just a liquid fast for 3 weeks or whatever, and just do liquids, not just water, but just do liquids. And I did that for a day and a half. And I don't know how I did the water fast to begin with, because after a day and a half, well, before a day and a half, I just kind of gave up at a day and a half. I had a terrible, terrible migraine, and I was super nauseous, and I was just like, I can't, I need to eat. So basically my Candida diet, or my version of the Candida diet detox extreme, because it was extreme for no reason, was I was drinking bone broth, which is supposed to be really, really good for your gut. So I was drinking a lot of bone broth throughout the day. I don't really care for plain water, so I was probably either drinking seltzers or or lemon water or something like that. And I was also drinking a smoothie with, really was just like, the base was like full fat coconut milk, and I would put like these healthy powders into it and maybe probably add stevia for sweetness, and that was my shake. And the solid meal that I was having every day was literally either boiled eggs or scrambled eggs or some form of eggs, just because that was the easiest, simplest thing for me to like make real quick once a day. So I was literally eating once a day solid food of eggs, drinking a ton of bone broth. I would have a smoothie every day with the base of coconut milk, full fat coconut milk, and some powders, some healthy powders or whatever. And seltzers, waters, whatever I was drinking to stay hydrated. That was my diet for 3 weeks. On October 18th, I'm gonna pop the picture right here. I weighed in at 203. This is me at 203 pounds right here. But that was October 18th. I continued this diet until, I want to say, October 29th, I believe. Yes, I remember. I continued this diet until October 29th. On October 29th, I went from eggs and bone broth and smoothies and water, and keeping it super simple and not a lot of calories at all and not a lot of food at all, to, I think that day I broke my fast with like a really big salmon salad, which still, like, you know, I used a sugar-free dressing, so it still kind of stayed in the realm of being like Candida diet approved, but it was a lot more food than I had been having for 3 weeks. So that's how I broke my diet on the 29th of October. And the next day I had to go to work. It was October 30th. It's the day before Halloween. Also the day before my birthday, because my birthday's on Halloween. And, you know, it's Halloween. There's snacks and goodies and cakes and everything around. Oh, I'm a teacher, by the way. Just so a lot of you don't know that. I am a teacher, or was a teacher. Yes. And so there's a lot of cakes and goodies and candies and stuff. And I did indulge. I really didn't have a lot. I just had a little bit because I was treating myself for being so good after 3 weeks. I basically just in that moment, completely reversed everything that I was doing for the past 3 weeks. But I didn't really think of it that way. I just kind of thought of it as like, I had been good for so long. I'm gonna go ahead and treat myself. A little bit won't hurt. That was the beginning of the end, to be completely honest. Because first of all, breaking my fast in that way and then immediately having all this junk made me sick on my birthday. I had the worst, most intense gas pains I've ever had in my life. And I kind of just basically stayed in bed, drinking seltzers and ginger ale. Like, I didn't do anything because I was not feeling it. I was like, ugh. And it was a Saturday, so I was able to just let myself rest, even though I wasn't feeling well. People were telling me happy birthday, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Anyways, so that is part of the reason why I did not weigh myself from October 18th. I did not weigh myself again until November 7th. It took me about 3-ish days to fully recover from all that uncomfortable gas pain that I was feeling. And then after that,
the Candida was awakened. They was up. They was ready. They was on a rampage.
So I was having the most intense sugar and carb cravings. Like, literally all I wanted to eat was sandwiches and just all types of junk. I naturally have a sweet tooth, so I'm sure I was eating some like sugary baked goods, but I know I was obsessed with getting sandwiches for some reason. So I was eating a lot of carbs, eating a lot of sandwiches, and I really wasn't on my workout game like that. And that was, like I said, beginning of the end. Like, I just could not get myself to stop. I was really, really struggling there. That is basically what started me gaining the weight. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I forgot to say how much I weighed when I weighed myself on November 7th. I did say in the other video, but this is not that video. And if you're not going to watch it or don't want to go to it to find out, let me let you know. On November 7th, when I weighed myself, I was 199. So I was super, super ecstatic about the fact that I was under 200 pounds, because I hadn't been under 200 pounds since high school. Super ecstatic. I do have a theory, though, that I was probably way less than that before, but I gained weight during the week where I was recovering from the gas and starting to eat all these carbs. So I probably was more like 290, maybe even 290, 190 or 190, 185 had been my goal weight. So I might have even gotten all the way down to 185 because I really, really wasn't eating enough at all. I wasn't eating a lot. So the amount of food and calories I was taking in, I wouldn't be surprised if I lost that much weight in that amount of time. All right. Anyways, in January, I started trying to lose weight again. I was up 25 pounds, so I was 225. But I was able to lose 10 pounds and get back down to 215 fairly quickly. So it was pretty much a lot of water weight there. So I was able to get back to 215 pretty fast, and that made me feel good. Unfortunately, I hit some road bumps and some hiccups and some really just like stressful, upsetting stuff was happening in my life with work, especially with work, and I started to become demotivated. I started to become unmotivated and eventually kind of just stopped and spent February to May just trying to get motivation or gain motivation, and like, but it wasn't happening. I just wasn't I just wasn't motivated, and I just like, I was depressed and I just couldn't get myself to do what I was supposed to do. After that, June or July of 2021, I came back to my YouTube channel. I had left when I started working in September, October. I tried to keep it up when I started working, but it was a struggle. So I just ended up not. And then I had quit my job. So then I started trying to do YouTube again full time, either June or July of 2021. And, that was fine for a little while. But like I said, I quit my job. I was on an abundance journey. I was trying to manifest money, but it wasn't working out. It wasn't working in my favor. I saw my bank account going down, and I really didn't have anything coming in. I was just hoping and waiting and praying, and nothing was coming in. So by November, I basically had to go back to work. I had to go get another job, which I did, and I'm grateful that worked out. But again, once I started working, I pretty much was done with YouTube, and my mental health and depression and everything, I kind of just went on a downward spiral. And from there, just continued gaining weight. In November of 2023, I definitely weighed in around 300 pounds, maybe a little bit more. I think a little bit more. I think I was more closer to like 305 or whatever. And I was losing some weight for a little while there, but I got stalled and I'm not putting enough energy into that. So I really kind of stopped losing weight. I'm somewhere in the 280s right now. So obviously I've lost some weight, but nowhere near as much weight as I need to lose or want to lose. So I'm going to end this here. That is my video. Thank you so much, beautiful, sexy people, for tuning in. If you have not subscribed yet and you're all the way at the end of this video, I'm going to need you to go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and click the bell button, because there is a part 3 in which I will be talking about my next steps and how I'm going to be losing weight this time around. And it's not going to be any strict diet or anything crazy. I think that it's a little bit different. No, I'm going to say it's a lot different from what I've always done. And it's definitely going to be different this time around. So hit that bell button so that you can be notified when that video drops. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.